Everybody can build now. But here's the part that nobody talks about. Almost nobody is actually winning. You can build an app, an agent, an entire product in a single weekend now. You've probably done it as well. It's honestly never been easier. So here's the question I couldn't really stop thinking about because of this. If building is essentially basically free these days, then why is almost nobody making money from what they build? That's what this video is about. Let me show you what actually happened. Building, first of all, got solved. A weekend to ship, right? 8+ marketplaces, drowning in new people's businesses, builds, services, millions of people launching apps. The barrier to entry in all of this didn't drop. It essentially disappeared. I shipped Altura and a series of different apps in probably 6 months. And a lot of them were really garbage, honestly. But distribution, getting seen, that didn't get solved at all for probably the next 6 months of my journey. And if you guys have ever launched something, I would say you could probably agree with that feeling, right? You build something and nobody shows up. I met with Anthony, who's my business partner, and we talked about these plans, right? They were exciting things to be pursuing. AI can do this now. We could launch this event. This could be a way to win people over. And by the time we actually put it together and do it, the hard thing is the idea that was in our head, or the idea for the app that we were building, or the launch we were going to have just never turned out exactly the way we wanted it, because it's a lot harder than it looks. And most of the time, it's gonna be like that as an entrepreneur. You're gonna have a great idea, you're gonna get out there, but you can't expect people to show up unless you have a guarantee, which is very rare in this industry. And here's the shift I think that we realize that nobody else really catches on to at all in business. The bottleneck, which is, the limiting factor preventing you from growing, moved for us. The question really isn't, can you build it anymore? It's, can anyone find it, right? Do they actually trust what you've built? And most importantly, will they actually pay for your service or your app or your site? And the market is unforgiving in almost any industry. And when building got cheap, right? 4 things out there became priceless. I'm going to give you all 4 of these. So first is distribution, which is getting seen. Every marketplace on the internet is essentially a wall of noise now. The best product out there doesn't win. The most seen product wins. Number 2, trust. There's so much AI generated junk out there that, just being believed and being real instead of feeling like you're another slop factory is honestly worth money. And authenticity is the real reason somebody's going to give you their credit card at the end of the day, because it's so hard to prove anymore. Number 3 is taste. And this is kind of a weird one, right? But knowing the difference itself between good and between AI slop. It's getting harder and harder because AI is getting better, but people still have a very good, what I'd call, bullshit detector, and they know how to pan them apart. And if you're relying too much on just AI to grow your business, instead of getting in front of people, that's going to kill people's mood before they even land on a checkout. And finally, right, number 4, and this is the big one, operating. Turning a build, which is just an app you designed in an afternoon, or that you kept designing, into a business, more importantly, a profitable business. How do you price it? How do you get customers? How do you actually scale what you've built? Nobody teaches this these days. And here's the wild part too. Every one of these that I mentioned gets more valuable as AI improves, which is weird, right? More builders out there creating more slop, AI slop, more apps that aren't needed or just crowd up a marketplace, creates more noise. And the filter and having authenticity and having true traction just gets higher and higher because it's rarer in the crowd, if that makes sense. So here's the real skill gap in a single sentence. Everyone learned how to build with AI. That is almost undeniable. Almost nobody in that group learned how to sell with AI. Which means the people winning right now are not the best builders. They're the best operators of the system itself. And I think, if you don't know what that means, it is people that have actually figured out the technical specifics of running a business down to the model itself. And that is invaluable information that, regardless of what AI can do, we need to be proficient at if you and I, doing what we do, actually want to make money out there. Okay. And I'm going to be honest with you, AI is great, but sometimes it's just not. Sometimes you need people who've been in the trenches, who have lived and felt the problems that you are facing as a entrepreneur. And more importantly, who know when to pivot, when to listen to what the code is telling you, when to keep building and getting lost in it, versus when to step away and actually stand in front of what you've built and get feedback from human beings. Anthony and I, building this company, Altura, and many others, have spun our wheels. We've spent 6 months, a year, pivoting to something completely different, changing one more feature because we thought that's what have made us great. That would have been the different factor that the market needed from us. But Anthony and I have pivoted so many times that we understand the factors, more importantly, that lead you to waste your time. It's never one more thing that needs to be fixed. It's, can I get in front of one person and solve their problem? And most of the time, just building something else isn't going to solve the problem. It's a distraction, not the cure. And here's the last piece. None of them did it alone. Not a single one. Look at anybody who ever made it. Y Combinator. The real product itself was the batch of people, of founding groups working together. Hampton. Founders pay $8,000 a year just to belong to that group of individuals who are killing it. Every scene that produced winners was, at some point, a scene. Being around people one step ahead of you is the biggest unfair advantage there is. And trust me, I thought it was a load of bullshit. I thought I could get lost in the AI chats because AI was always smarter than a person, but it's not. Because AI doesn't care about time, but people do. And people know when the right time is to talk to an AI who's always going to want to talk back to you, versus getting out in the world and distributing what you've built and knowing when to pivot if it's not the right move. The real business advice, the ones that matter for human beings who have human level goals, is never going to come from an AI chat. And you can't download those lessons. So that's why I'm building what I'm about to show you. And it's called Altura Society, the private room for AI builders. Not another tool. You guys have plenty of tools. We're not trying to overload you with one more step of development. You have what you need. I hope Claude or Lovable or Replit or ChatGPT, whatever you're using to build, is good enough for you. And we're actually willing to help you with that. This is not a tool. This is a room. And it's an application only room. Every single application, every person that wants to belong to this group, because we are making moves in the AI world. We are people that get you from start to finish, not start to pivot, not start to get lost, start to paid customers in any field of AI, because that is our ball game. Every single person that belongs to our group gets hand read their application, their skill level. It doesn't matter. Because what I'm looking for when I read these, as I am the approving authority, is your desire, is your demand, is your drive to be great. Because the whole point of Altura as a company is who's inside, who makes this room private and amazing. So that begs the question, who's actually and what actually is in the room? 3 things. And this is the first one. You get seen. You get to drop whatever you're building, or maybe an idea you want to build, in our Discover page for our private members. And it lands in front of people who have built real shit, not some random Twitter follower. I don't care if Buttlicker32 wants to retweet your post or comment something hateful on it. That's not feedback that's going to get you to the finish line. And spamming things on social media is not how you land your customer. You need real feedback. You need to genuinely see where your business ranks compared to others. And you have to get out of this void of uncertainty. Answers and a clear path is what gets you to the end zone. And AI is not another founder who has done this before. Next, your business card. Your profile and your position inside of Altura becomes your living proof and your business card. One link that shows everything that you've built, almost like a link tree, right? They get to know that you are somebody who does it the right way. And every person that is verified through Altura has to go through one layer: human verification. The only people helping you, looking at your business, and giving you advice to the next level are people that have done this before. AI can never give you that. especially in real time, because it can't understand how a true human being would look at your business, and more importantly, how it would navigate in your situation the things you're dealing with. The second point I want to make is you learn to scale. Every single week, we do live sessions for our members, otherwise known as operators. We handle positioning. How do you structure your business in the market where it's solving a specific vertical problem with a desired end customer that we can see with a specific price that gets them to buy what you have over the competition? Every member who joins gets a direct session on their business. And when you're stuck at 2 a.m., you put a post out or ask the question, and one of our operators answers better than any AI. Finally, number 3, you are never building alone again. There's a private feed of wins and losses, warm intros to people who have done this before, and people that not only are willing to look at your profile, but will actually follow you, start a conversation with you, and make friends and even meet up in the real world. The room itself will actually answer back instead of you shouting into an empty void on Twitter or Reddit. Now, the part that actually matters if you're watching this early, we're opening with only 50 seats because this is brand new. 50. That's it. The founding rate, which is only $20 a month for my time, for the one-on-one help, for the member benefits, because this is brand new and we want to lock in operators. You actually will lock in that price for life. So if we charge at some point with the quality of people we are bringing in right now, thousands of dollars like Hampton does, you still pay 20 and you get access to multi-millionaires, even billionaires that become part of this movement. The connections we are growing are massive. And to be in the room with somebody who has dominated in business will save you years and countless dollars of effort you will put in to even try to get an opportunity with these people. And like I said, that also buys you for $20 a direct one-on-one session with me because we care about growing this. We are going to give our time away for you. The standard moving forward is going to be $39 a month. That's already the next planned move once we fill the first bucket up. And yes, your metal card is coming. It's free to apply, 6 questions, 2 minutes. I read every single application within 48 hours. And trust me, we're already starting to get a lot in, and we're going to be very specific on who we pick and who we reject, and more importantly, why either decision is made. I will be manually writing these out, and if you feel satisfied or unsatisfied with the feedback, feel free to reapply or let me know on the inside. So you're gonna get real traction and real advice before you're even inside the community, because I will take a look at what you've done. And honestly, guys, if you've never built anything or shipped anything out the door, it might not be for you yet, although we have countless resources to help you. We care about your desire to ship something. How willing are you, with the right education, with my personal guidance, and with the help from our community, to know you're going to get something out the door? Because we can guarantee it, but unless you take action at the end of this video or down below and are even willing to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to get something accomplished, which is stepping inside, I can't guarantee that you're going to take action on what we tell you. So the application is set up to be a step in the process to see who cares. I've personally coached dozens of people in their business across dozens of industries. And if you're tired, regardless of not seeing the success, then you're exactly who this is for. Building was last decade's problem. This decade, from 2025 to 2035, it belongs to the people who can turn an idea, maybe a build, a code, into an actual company. And more importantly, the people who will win still will be smart enough to realize that they need people around. At the end of the day, who's going to give you the money for this? The answer to that question is knowing what people think. And you're not going to get that trying to chat back and forth with whatever tool you're using. The whole bet is understanding how people think and partnering with people who've solved that problem before. If that's you, the link is right below this video. I read everything, including your application. So feel free to lay it out, and I will give you the chance if the opportunity lines up and makes sense. I hope you give it the consideration, and more importantly, I hope to see you inside. I'm Caleb Schuelke, and I appreciate you watching. The next step is truly yours.